So the first step to doing the books is always folding the papers and doing signatures. So usually I do only a couple of pages at a time, 2 to 3 pages. So after that, this first one I wanted to work on was the rings. Trying to figure out if I could actually use book rings. Now, book rings are really big. So because these books are really thin, I decided to use jump rings that you use for jewelry. Overall, I don't know if it would really hold long term, but it actually kind of worked to hold the paper and made it actually easy to open it nice and wide. It worked really well. So the hardest part, I think, was trying to get it, punching the holes and then trying to get it into the paper, where it went through all of the holes evenly and the hole wasn't too close to the edge that it would just rip through. But using the jump rings, I only used 3 of them. You could probably use more if you wanted to, or you could use only 2. It just kind of depends. I just chose 3 just because it's like a 3-ring binder, so I thought that would work and give ideal better if this would work or not. Overall, I thought the rings held out pretty good. And then I decided that I was going to trim the edging. And this is one area that I really struggled with, was trimming the covers. Then we went into doing the gluing method of making your own bullet journal. And gluing the pages, I decided to use wood glue because I figured it would hold better than Elmer's glue, and I didn't have any like bottles of Elmer's glue. I just had the stick glue, and the stick glue doesn't hold as well. So I decided to use wood glue. I am going to say that nobody warned me. None of you guys warned me that my pages were not even as I was gluing, which I thought was hilarious after I looked at it. But it was really interesting to try and lay the pages even. And that's one thing I'm going to tell you. If you're going to use glue, try to make sure that they're even. And it was kind of a struggle to make sure that the book laid and folded properly. And as I was going through the back pages, I lost probably almost an inch of paper because of the middle spine area. It just didn't fold quite as well. So there was a few lessons to learn from this, is to really watch the way your paper is laying out as you're gluing it, but also to just kind of watch how you're folding it and how much glue you're adding. I was trying to be very careful about the amount of glue I used, but it still ended up being a lot. And it took a while for the glue to dry, and also it made it very delicate where the glue was, and I probably should have gave it a little bit longer to dry in order to use it that way. Overall, if I didn't have any other method, the glue worked just fine for a book, for a bullet journal. And then I still ended up having another issue with trimming the covers. There's got to be a technique that you can trim the covers easier than the way I was doing it. I kept trying to figure out how to trim the covers so that I would still have enough around the pages while not giving too much so the cover didn't get damaged. I don't know. The method that I was using, I tried cutting it when it was folded. I tried cutting it when it was open. Still, that was one area I think I need to practice on. When I look at them, all 4 of the ones that I made together, the glue one,
the 4 books,
was probably the cheapest method.
Nobody told me when I was
when you think about it, but it was also one of the ones I would say would be
when I folded it, I did this to the page.
It would be a little hard to accomplish long term because you lose some of your pages,
fold the paper
your area of your pages and the back pages. So
be aware of that.
I'm not sure if I really quite like the glue one.
There's
with the rings
with that one.
I thought it was really fun and interesting to try the rings, to do something a little bit like a
Which
3-ring binder
is
without having
cute.
the 3-ring binder.
It folds down. The one of the
If you
issues
don't
I
have
feel
jump
with the
rings,
rings
you can
would
even
be
use
to keep
string
them
for this
together
method,
and
which
clasp
I
and not
maybe
lose them.
could have used that instead, and it would have made more sense.
And then
With
we
the
have
staples,
the staple one,
one of the issues that I
which
had,
the
and I think I
issue
said
for
this
me
in my
was
other
that I
video where I
put them
did the
in
staple
little
one,
cockeyed,
is that
and I'm
I
accident
couldn't get
prone,
the
so I feel like I
staples
would end up
to
cutting
flatten
myself
out
when I get to the
quite
middle of the book.
enough to where I was
And
happy
then we
with
have the
it.
stitched
They
one.
stuck up
So
just a
the
little bit, and
stitched
I'm very
one
accident prone, so
lays
I
really
probably would
nice.
have cut my fingers on it trying to
So
write.
I put them in, showed
That
you
was one
them
of the
in
issues
order.
I felt
So
with the
number 4 would
staples.
be the glued
And
one.
then with the book,
And
it's the
I
sewing
had
book. I
issues
felt like
with the covers, trying to cut the
that was
covers.
probably my
I opened
best
them
one.
up to cut the
So if I
covers
had to rank the 4
because when
books,
I
the sewing
closed
book
the
would be number
covers to
1.
cut, I cut
That was
like
the
this,
best one. If you can sew your
which
books
doesn't seem as bad
and
as this
make
one
them
now,
handmade like
or
that,
this one.
best way.
Now that
There
I
are
look
all
at it.
kinds of YouTube videos to teach you how to sew.
But I was having
Staples
issues,
would
and
be
these
number
ones
2
I cut with them
because
open
it was pretty easy to accomplish,
like this and
and
gave myself enough
you
space,
can
I
find
thought,
staples a lot
but
of different
I cut too
places.
close.
Number
So
3 would be the rings.
be aware of that.
I might have even tried string, which I should have thought of
But I think
before,
the 4th one would be
but
glue.
it still turned
the
out
3rd one would
pretty
be the
good.
rings. The 2nd
That
one
would be
would be
number
the
3, and the
staples,
last
and
one
the
would be
1st one would
gluing.
be the stitching.
Because
But I wanted
it
to
ranked
show
number
4
4,
varieties
just
because not
because of the
everybody
way
has
it
string
folded at the
needles
end. I feel like if I
to
could
do
have
the
figured out how to
stitching.
glue it to the best of my ability,
Not everybody
where
will
I
have
had a little bit,
staples.
didn't
Not
lose as much
everybody
of
will
my
have rings,
pages,
and some people have
um,
glue. So I wanted to show a
and probably
variety
would have
of
said that
different
would have
ways you
been
could make a
one
bullet journal.
more up,
And I
but
will find a
up
use
on
for
my
all
scale
4
of
of
1
these some
through
way
4.
or another. But
However,
they
it
are
was a
very
fun
cute,
experiment to try
very
and make
simple.
my own bullet journals
I
and
went
to
to the
compare
library
them
and
all.
printed off the paper.
And I've already actually used this one that I sewed, and I probably will
and I
try
have
and
craft
find ways
paper.
that I can use the other ones,
Sometimes when
just
you
so
order
that I'm not
Amazon
wasting.
or anywhere,
And
you can usually
hopefully
find
this
some
helped
craft
you in
paper.
your
So I
journey to
wanted to just
figure
show
out
you. You
what
can even
type
use
of bullet journal
construction
you
paper if
can
you don't
hand
have
make,
craft paper.
and
But
what
it's
other
easy
types
to
of
make your
things you
own
can
journal.
use in
So you
place
can
of
get
just
started with
buying
bullet
bullet journals.
journaling or just journaling.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hopefully you liked the video.
Have a good
And we'll
day.
see
Have
you
a
in the next
creative
one.
day. See you in the next video.